Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Tuwan Spencer, aka Mr. Lionhearted, and I'm here at Forum 216, and I'm gonna answer a couple questions. What was the best year of your life? Hey, that's how we start. Like that crazy. I'm gonna say, okay, so I'm gonna probably say when my daughter was born, and not even when she was born. When I knew she was coming, it was at that moment where I felt like I needed to be somebody different. And that transition is scary, but it start before the kid get here. So that was easily the best year of my life because I started to look at stuff different. It was about something other than just me. We could say that it's not like that because you got family and friends, and people you say you thinking about, but it was just something different. When I knew my daughter was coming, I knew I needed to be different. So yeah, that was a crazy time. Yeah. How are you different than your old self? Oh my goodness. How am I different than my old self? Also, I probably would have a bunch of people hit back in the day. Like it's just that's the answer. I could have lied to y'all, but I'm not gonna do that. Old Tawan didn't have the patience necessary to do what new Tawan is doing. And it's growth in that. Like, yeah, we always talk about getting to another space, but me knowing who I used to be and understanding where I'm at now is the reason why I do what I'm doing so well. It's the reason because I know what happened and what I could fall back into. So you got to be focused and locked in. So yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, patience. I was just telling one of the people I work with, because I go and I mentor youth and I talk to them. And I was like, yeah, don't get it twisted. Old Tawan probably wouldn't even want to talk to new Tawan because he'll be so caught up in how he gonna move and what he gonna do that I wouldn't even want to sit for that conversation. It would probably be the best person for me to talk to, but I would definitely try to buck back against that. So yeah, what is your favorite thing about yourself, man? This is probably one of the hardest for me so far because I really don't think in that context. I'm always thinking about what I can do for other people. But I would say as of late, it's been my ability to be a little bit more selfish. Um, I was giving time to everything and everybody. And what'll happen is you'll make everybody around you feel good, but you'll start to feel like you're running on empty. And I started to realize, man, empty ain't it. You can't pour from an empty cup. And I was definitely trying to do that. I'm talking about drop, drop, drop with nothing in that cup, man. But I was telling myself I was doing something that was positive, and everybody was benefiting but me. And the truth is, you can't even give people everything you got when you in that space. So yeah, locking in with yourself. That's my favorite thing about me. If I could give one piece of advice to my younger self, what would it be? Hey, allow yourself to feel something. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's your culture, whether it's the situation, you end up coming up with reasons to deal with yourself in a different type of way. And they never honest to you. They just a reflection of what you're dealing with in life. So, that's one thing I would tell myself, like, yeah, all right, you come from different environments, you made different decisions. I did all of that. Ran the street stuff, fighting with people, doing all that. But I would tell myself, like, it's okay for you to deal with how you feel. One of the questions that there was a gentleman I partnered with, shout out to you, Danny, and he got an organization called Why Are You Angry? And I told him, like, one of the best things about his organization is the title. Because we don't ask ourselves stuff like that. Like, you think the surface emotion and you being mad is really where you at. And that's not where you at. Really, you gotta ask the right question. So why are you angry? You angry because of the way you've been treated. You angry because of whatever the financial situation may be. But the surface thing is I could just act mad. I can act like I don't care. I don't live in none of that. And I would definitely tell my younger self, like, hey, you do better with your work and moving in your purpose when you authentic with yourself about what's going on. So cut that out. What dreams or goals did you have as a teenager? So look, the stuff that I wanted to do when I was a kid, I'm doing now. So that's a revelation for me even in this moment. It's like everything that I wanted to do, I'm doing now. I said I wanted to go speak, I speak. I said I wanted to do music, I do music. I said I wanted to travel, I travel. I go do all of these things. One of the taglines that I give, especially when I'm talking to young boys, is I tell them, like, part of the mission is to be everything I was looking for when I was a kid. That means the man that's honest enough to say what's going on. I mean, the father that show up. I mean, the community advocate that's out there, like, not just, you know what I'm saying? That's like when you hear people tell you how much spirituality matter, but you only see them on Sunday when the church door is open. It's like, if that's the case, if it's real, I've been feeling all of these things all week. So seeing you on one day ain't gonna cut it. So I became what I was looking for, man. So this the first time I really thought about that, man. Shout out to Forum 216, man. That was crazy. This is the first time I thought about that. But no, I'm who I was looking for, and I'm only getting better. What was your biggest turning point in your teen years? Jail. I was 17 years old in Wendy Correctional Facility. I tell people the only reason it's not a stain on my record blocking what I do is I got out maybe a week or so before my 18th birthday. And I remember somebody telling me what to wear. You know what I'm saying? What I was gonna eat, like what I was able to do. And the leader in me just ain't like none of that. I was like, man, I'm bigger than that. And it was going through that system. It was man, 40216 get too much good right now, man. They get way too much right now. But I remember I was in the jail, right? I was in Young Man's Block before they transferred me to Wendy Correctional Facility. And I had a cousin who I'm gonna leave nameless because I ain't gonna do you like that. But anyway, we was looking for him before I got arrested. He was into a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say your name because Day do better. We was looking for Day, right? And we just knew something happened to him because he was beefing with everybody. He had some issues going on with some Jamaicans. We just knew something happened and we just ain't find him. I'm walking in Young Man's Block. You know how that you walk in, you gotta look hard, make it seem like you don't care about everything. And I walk and I hear, hey yo, Dante. Now, you don't know me, like that's my middle name, and that's what they call me in the city. And he like, yo, what up, cuz, what up? And I'm like, Daddy? He like, yeah. I'm like, bro, we thought you was dead. Like that was, so those like little moments like that was a turning point for me because I'm like, yo, this is real. Like I'm telling y'all, we couldn't find family and we found him in jail. That's crazy. But it was like, yo, I don't want to live like that. I don't want nobody telling me what to do, where to go, how to be. That's not the life that I want. And I definitely don't want to reconnect with family members behind bars. It's like, it's a funny story to me, but at the same time, it was like moments like that. You know what I'm saying? Thinking I was the baddest in there. And then you go from Young Man's Block and don't take my word for it. Google Wendy Correctional Facility, south side of Buffalo, New York. You go from young dudes that's upset to sitting in the cell with people that's in there for trying to kill people. I'm not in Young Man's Block no more. I'm in jail. Whatever bad I thought I was, I realized very quickly I don't want to be as bad as they are because they're not going anywhere. This is where they're going to stay. So I was like, oh yeah, yeah. Biggest turning point. I don't like jail. There's a lot of weird activities going on. I ain't gonna go there. But it was stuff happening that I realized wasn't for me. Yeah. What's been the biggest lesson or challenge in parenting compared to how you was raised? Man, what? I don't know if everybody that came before me was just built to be gangster, but we just like it wasn't a lot of gentleness. It wasn't. And like in today's world, these kids are so used to having access to everything. They go everywhere, they see everything, they could Google anything. So they got opinions. Well, when I grew up, yeah, we had opinions, but we usually kept them to ourselves. We didn't tell people. And if we did tell somebody, it was behind the door when it's shut. It was in a very, very, very low tone because you ain't want to get heard feeling how you was feeling. So the challenge with me and my daughter is like, I tell people she's me, but just adorable. She's just a beautiful little person, but she has every trait that I have. So she speaks her mind. She walks boldly. And I love those things up until it's time to parent because I said no. She wants to know why no is no. Does she want to talk about it? And I think about the people that I had in my life and how I wanted to talk about it. But if I talked about it, I might have not made it to school the next day. So you figure out how to process those things. But you gotta be gentle and you gotta make sure that you deal with their mind. Like it's a different time. You know what I'm saying? Like you put your kid in the gym, you got them, all those things is dope. Have them taking different classes to be stronger. But if they weak up here in a society where everything is preying on that, yeah, man, you ain't gonna be prepared. Has someone ever stood up for you or helped when you really needed it? Shout out to my moms. The story I think about, we was on 10-5 of St. Clair. My aunt used to stay over there. R.I.P. Aunt Clemmy. And yeah, I was a rough kid. So I had a lot of stuff going on. And a lot of times family ain't always supportive. And I don't think it's just because I think sometimes they be scared and they don't know how to move like they not. And oh, he gonna be in jail, he gonna be this, he gonna be that. And I did some of that. Some of that they was right about. But I remember watching my mom, and usually she mild mannered, kind of tempered. Man, she let them have it. Who y'all talking about? You talking about my son? We was getting out the car, about to walk in the house, and I watched her turn up, and I was like, oh, I thought that was just me. But she let him. Like she was like, y'all not gonna talk like, and she ain't do it in a way where she was beefing with him, but she did it in a way to where they understood you're not gonna speak that over them. And it's, those your parents. You expect them to be a certain type of way. But watching her have a problem with that, it did something for me. So I think that was one of those moments where even now, like everything that I'm doing, whether it's speaking, performing, books, or just going around and moving, I never forget that. I never forget where she was protection and direction when I felt lost and vulnerable in that space. And to do it with the people that I knew she loved. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I rock with y'all, but I'm saying this is my son. So I try to move like that with everybody I deal with. How good am I at lying? Yeah. So this question, not as good as I used to be. You know what I'm saying? I think when you start to hit a certain point, lies cost a lot of energy. Now, if you're talking about reading a script, if you're talking about acting somewhere, oh my goodness, I'm great. I can have you believing that I'm a whole bunch of different things. Um, but when you talk about like just how I'm moving in life right now, it might sound deep, but the truth really do set you free. It ain't just on some corny, like it's like you don't have to carry yourself in a way where you pretending to be somebody, and that's freedom. I think it was I want to say it was Jim Carrey, but he had a quote where he said, anxiety and depression is just your body's way of letting you know it's tired of you not being authentic with how you feel. And that joint just stuck with me forever. Cause I kind of realized like when I reflected on what I went through, the times where I was hurting, I was pretending to be somebody. And I don't know why I was doing that. Maybe sometimes it's the environment, maybe sometimes it's why you think you're supposed to be to get where you're trying to go. But I was trying to be who I thought I was supposed to be, and I was broken from that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I'm that good at that no more. Now you would have caught me 10, 15 years ago. Oh, oh wait. I'm talking about really good at that, man. What are some adversity you had to overcome? Yo, everywhere that I went, that's the answer. Young black boy in and out of the system. Started working in the early childcare field. I was in there when being a man in that environment wasn't cool. Like, why he taking this job? He need to do something else. That's weird that he care about the kids. I went through all of that. I went through creating nonprofits or organizations that help the community. And as much as it's supposed to be about love, it's love until you start to be better at it than some of the people that was doing it before you. Being a performer, doing music. Man, Tawan dope until it's time to share a stage. Then I can stay my dope butt at home. It was like adversity follows you. But I tell people all the time, adversity is your greatest resource. And the moment you accept that and use that and pull from that to do the great things you're supposed to do, better off you'll be. That concludes my interview with Platform 216. I am Tuwan Spencer. Love y'all. Make sure you love on yourself. And shout out to the Lionhearted team. That's Lionhearted Clothing, Lionhearted Entertainment. Man, just go online and start typing in Lionhearted. We'll pop up. The big head dude that care about the people. Love y'all. Peace.